ladies and gentlemen, welcome again by the HipHop Minded Professional. And today I'm sitting with.
The one and only C.I.C, Jonathan.
How's it going today?
It's going well, man. I'm feeling good. Um, Woke up good. So yeah, how you feeling actually?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Busy day, as we've already had a little chat before this,
yeah,
but
good chat.
it's always on the grind, grinding.
Independence on the independent side, right?
Yeah, yep. And speaking of grinding, what does your daily grind look like?
It depends on which day it is, but let's say on a Monday I'm free,
Hmm.
but the other days I work for myself. I have my own multimedia company. It started as a record label, but now I manage a few video directors,
Hmm.
photographers. I do that on the silent side, and artists, of course, because that's the main focus. And I work for a publishing company in Germany, but I run the Netherlands and the Benelux. It's the number one independent publishing company in Germany, Roba Music,
Hmm.
and basically, let's say when the day starts. Um, I eat, I take a shower, but no, I my daily grind is when I have the time. Creatively, I don't do nothing.
Hmm.
I rather start with a book, like 2 3 pages, and then I go straight to my laptop in quarantine mode. I work my list off, and when it's like 6 p.m., 5 p.m. I start like working on new music or new concepts or ideas, or I just chill, especially now because new music is coming. So I don't want to make
Yeah, yeah,
new music when you gotta enjoy the moment. So it depends always what the situation is and where I'm standing.
yeah, yeah. And how? Where did your love for music start?
Mm, like making music or like just music itself.
Let's say just music itself.
I think around the age of 5, 4, I just received my CDs from my mother,
Hmm.
and she gave me, and also my aunt, she gave me CDs from Tina Turner.
Hmm.
I was like, whoa, this woman, she's crazy, she's wild, the hair.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I like this, and I was watching it a lot. And later on, she gave me Michael Jackson 1 year later, his concert in Bucharest, which I'm still watching till this day.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, I never saw somebody like move his head to the side and everybody was going wild. So I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
who is this, and then
Well,
he did it
how
again.
does he do that? He just
And
moves
people
his head and
pass,
everybody goes crazy.
and
Yeah.
people pass out, and I was like hanging in front of the TV, and he started making moves and started singing. I was like, that's where I want to be. And then Eminem and Jay-Z came in the picture. I didn't understand them at all. But with Eminem, it was like, okay, this dude is crazy. Like all those people in one video, which is him,
Yeah.
and saying, "What's my name?" He's number one, and he raps about a lot of awful shit. And I didn't understand it, but somehow I knew, like, okay, you're like the crazy motherfucker that's just saying shit
Yeah. Yeah.
because he wants to. And with Jay Z, I had something. Oh, he had the cool beats, so I think it started around there, like at the age 5, 6, something. Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
man.
Wow.
But also, I forgot Otis. Yeah, Otis. Also, I grew up on Otis as well,
Hmm.
and I think that those elements of artists, Tina Turner, Michael Jackson, Otis, Eminem, and Jay Z, show me that music is universal and a universal language.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then later on, it started on MTV and TMF. I don't know if you know TMF.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
TMF.
I was that dude that went home, run to see the top 40 list and shit. And I wrote back in when I was like 11 or 10. I started writing um the lyrics that were in English and Dutch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I fell in love with music, basically. Just the charts and the things around it and the
Yeah. Yeah.
attention,
Yeah.
the artists. I think uh, their personality also attracted me to to invest my mind and my spirit in music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you started to look at, okay, I'm gonna start writing music, and
At the age of 6. No. No, I
when,
started around 11.
on 11. And when did you have your first, let's say, your first performance?
Damn, I think I was like serious performance or just
That's the one that just popped up in your mind.
okay. The first one was at mid school.
Hmm.
um, we had to do a musical, and I don't know what the name was, but I know the song was like go. Well, the song is famous, and I don't know if you know that song from Oh Happy Day.
Yeah.
I had to sing that, so that was like my first time. But like rapping, on high school, we had to do this. How do you call that? Master class. We had to follow a master class with a teacher that was also good in rapping. Minute later, I don't remember his name,
Hmm.
and yeah, he basically said like, "Yo, you gotta make a rhyme with the 4 people," and there were like 4 black dudes, 1 white dude performing, which was me as well, in the cafeteria
Yeah, yeah.
space, and everybody was like, oh, they thought like, "Oh, it's cool." So I think that was my first performance, but I see battle rap also as a performance. So I started battle rapping when I was around the age of 14, 13.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And also on school and outside school. And I was like crazy obsessed with it because I brought lyrics to school every day. And I showed them like, look what I got, look what I got. I can actually text those guys and ask them like, it's like really the truth. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's also performing. So let's say around the age of 11, 12, 13, started really serious
And
performing.
if
But like serious, my first paid performance is like around 19 or something, 18, something like that.
and out of those performances, which one, let's say, gave you the most butterflies in your stomach that you're like, oh,
Like as in enthusiastic or
yeah, enthusiastic or nervousness?
I think the one in the cafeteria because she was like, you gotta perform
Yeah,
at
yeah.
school. Everybody, you know, few people that are older than you, younger than you, and everybody's watching. So, and I was also not like dressed on in my best clothes. You know, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like in
yeah.
fucking mid school. So I think that one. But like a serious performance, I think my first show in Rotterdam. Nah. The one, no, not Germany. Germany, I was also nervous. I think, yeah, I think it was in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, when I had to perform with other cats from the neighborhood. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because there was like, you know, those guys are also lyrical and good, and they had the audience, and they were rapping in Dutch. And my English wasn't that good yet. So I was nervous about, oh, will I remember the lyrics or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
will the DJ then fuck it up? All those things. And, you know, we always killed it, but sometimes we did slip. But I had my moments. But around that time, I think I was 19 or 20. Yeah, around that time, I was like nervous as hell.
And did you also start writing in Dutch first and then transfer to English, or did you always write in
Well,
English for, let's say, for yourself?
I started in Dutch, but let's say I will explain you the story first. I
Yeah.
was like 11. I was like dissing this little girl called Melanie, and we actually don't drop names, but I hope she sees this one day because she knows and everybody knows because we were like in mid school, and I think you remember those days when people said, "But who said that? I said that. You said it," and everybody said, "Oh."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I felt disrespected, so I went home before Christmas and I started writing. It was like my first rhyme that I ever wrote about her body, everything. Just and I went to school and I said to everybody in the class, yo, I got something to show to everybody in the class in the lunch break. So we went outside and I started rapping what was on the paper. And everybody was like, "Oh shit, amazing, wow!" And I was like grounded for 2 or 3 months. So then I was like, "Okay, I can do something with
Yeah,
this."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I had to be punished. But low key, you have to imagine it was like the most scariest thing because I had like this whole 16 under my bed. I went to bed and I was like nervous as fuck because I knew already I'm either gonna get kicked out of
Yeah.
this school or I just gonna be punished by my parents. It's
Yeah.
one it's one or the
One of the
other.
two.
So at that moment I was like nervous, and like later on when I was 16, fast forward, because we didn't do serious shit with the Dutch thing. It was like hanging around,
Yeah,
recording,
yeah.
dropping it on hives. So when I went to late mid school, which is STC college,
Mm-hmm.
I studied there for 2 years, and I met my old buddy from high school. He's like, "Yo, I know you can rap, but he was starting making beats." He said to me, "Start making it, doing it in English." And I was 17. Yeah, I was 17. I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So my English was terrible. Like the first thing I picked up as a book was Shakespeare, like the most stupidest.
So you're gonna my English is terrible. You know what? I'm just gonna grab Shakespeare, Old English, and
Yeah. So we started recording with a mic from 90 euros, a laptop that went on and off every 30 minutes. We had no money. We had nothing. We only had that. So we already knew he was like obsessed with Wu Tang and all that shit, the old OG rap
hmm
shit,
hmm
and as well. But I also knew about the new cats, like a Mac Miller or ASAP,
yeah, yeah,
when it was new to us. So I was listening to that and other shit, and I started making my own shit. And we downloaded some YouTube beats, and I made a tape, and I dropped it on SoundCloud. He deleted it 3 times out of jealousy. So I was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna pay a studio and do it
yeah,
myself."
yeah, yeah.
And then I also met some other cats that are doing well right now. And from that moment on, I knew like, hey, this is something I wanna die for, or something. I wanna prove that
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not only like a good rapper, but also an artist. So I dropped my first tape in 2015, 14, no 15. Yeah, it was terrible as fuck. Even the cover, the release dates. Then my second tape was coming. I was dropping singles before that, and I already sent it my first tape through a best friend of mine who's dead
hmm
right now. She had connects in the US and all that. She's like, "You gotta connect this one, this one." She was like low key managing me, and uh, so I was sending it to artists from the US, and they fucked with it. And I started making my second tape with producers from Sweden, all that shit. And it took me 2 years to get it done because it was like I wasn't happy with who I was and what happened
hmm
and what I was making. So I wrote about it. And fast forward, I met again amazing people in the industry, and I started studying at the Herman Brood College
Yeah, yeah.
when I dropped my mixtape. And then uh, I was in the industry at that point because I had to open up for oh fuck, I hate this shit. Can we cut that like out? I'm gonna close this phone. Sorry, man. Cause this dude, man, it's funny actually. Whatever. But sorry about that. But where was I? I was at
Beginning industry.
yeah, I was in the beginning of industry. I started opening up for major artists, uh, and then from major Dutch artists, and then people was like labels. I was spamming labels, and they were like watching me and following people that were around me. And I had a small team, and I broke up, and I was working on my third tape, which was What the Universe Fears, which is 2 years ago. I dropped that 1 year ago. It's now it's 1 year ago that I dropped that, and now we're here, and I got this. I think the best EP of the year right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like like music wise, production wise, marketing wise, it's timeless, especially in this pandemic. And sorry for the long story, but I had to like explain you my timeline.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm 25 right now, and what I learned also in all those years is that you got to be patient. A lot of
Yeah.
moments I wasn't patient, and I fucked it up because I wasn't patient. And I think a lot of artists have, especially younger artists, have problems with that. Like Jay-Z dropped his first album when he was 26, and that's like an age where people say, "Oh, you're too old."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But that's what all the labels said, and he didn't listen, and he kept being patient. And Biggie already said he's the next guy, and everybody in New York was like, no, no, no. But now he has shown he is the best MC that probably ever lived. And I think people like Anderson .Paak too. I look up to those artists right now because they make timeless music. They got a personality, and they are also patient. Because Anderson .Paak was signed at the age of 33. So, and I don't want to get signed only if it's like the top three or something. But I noticed that in all those years, that patience was like my biggest lesson. Like
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like waiting on features, waiting on the mix engineer, waiting on like, yo,
And take us then back to there, because now you have the lessons of, okay, you know, patience is key. But how did you cope with it then? I mean, what was your mindset then when you were at, let's say, at the beginning?
shit, you asked me something deep. Well, my mindset, that's funny because the name of the label was Free to Live.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a little bit a rebel. I was against still this day. Like, I was not dancing with the devil. I was like kicking him, like, cause I didn't like the rules. I didn't like the law. But now I'm like, um, I don't know how to say it, but now I'm like more working with them because I understand it now. I'm older and I'm wiser, and I know that not everything is bad or good. It's just meant to be, or it's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was like, man, we're gonna drop a song tomorrow or next week. Let's record. Yeah, man, let's record. And it was like trash. But back then I thought like, whoa, shit, 600 views. I'm the shit right now, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I can do everything. Like till this day, I got the same mentality. I'm still hungry. I'm still passionate, but I was more a rebel. I was, uh, you know, not busy with the things that I have now. Like I have a house now. I'm more grown now. Like
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
want to buy a new couch, like you did. Back then it was about chilling, showing people that they're weak as fuck and that we are the best. And it
Yeah,
wasn't even cool to be a rapper. So now it's the cool thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
2014, 15, it was like, uh, oh, he's a rapper. Like, for example, I had a show in our studio, and I saw an old colleague where I was an intern in her company,
Mm-hmm.
and she came in the show and she saw me and she was laughing all the way because she couldn't believe it. She saw me rapping. And I thought by myself, one day you're gonna regret that you was
Laughing.
laughing,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So back then we didn't care. We didn't. I didn't had no plan. The people around me didn't either. But now, let's say in 3 or 2 years, I started being more organized and being more strategic minded. I started being more open,
Mm-hmm,
also
mm-hmm.
close to things, because I was always open. So I met a lot of people also from different countries, showcases. You're gonna learn more the older you get as an artist.
Yeah, yeah,
The more you're gonna learn and be aware of people, their intentions also in the industry. Because in the beginning you thought, oh, everybody's my friend, and you can hang with them. It's not like that. To them, it's like you're gonna pay them. It's business. So now I got the same mindset, which is a good thing, but also a fucked up thing, because people, you know, gonna see you as the devil if you're gonna sign artists under you. But I'm like, I'm not the devil. I'm just making mails for this artist to
Yeah.
be successful, you know. So, and I understand a beginning artist as well. So when I sign somebody that nobody knows and I'm confident about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I know I made a good bet because I always that's my autism, and I'm more mature in things. I don't like even in my writing process. I don't like back in the days. I wrote on a beat
Mm-hmm.
and I recorded it, and I was like, okay, I gotta change this. Now I'm like, I want to be in the studio and make the song. I don't want to be in my room writing on the
Writing.
beat.
Yeah.
Only if I find a beat on YouTube that's hard and I can say to the producer I want to buy it exclusively. But other than that, I don't write anymore.
And
That's as much.
if you take, because you do a lot of sides of the music,
Hmm.
how did you go from, let's say, only doing the music side, let's say the rap side,
Yeah.
to expanding and doing management, looking at publishing? How did that go?
Uh, Connections, the internet, and being myself is the short answer. But the long answer was more like I started, like I said, it wasn't cool to be an artist. It wasn't cool to be independent. So no label wanted me. They all
Mm-hmm.
responded like, "Yo, you good, but you're not there with my first tape." And I was like, "How can it not sign me? How's that possible? You hear these lyrics?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
hear that?" My last boy, I was like, they're like, "Yeah, you too small." And my mixtape came, same shit. My third tape came. I didn't pay attention anymore, and now my fourth tape is there, and it's coming, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta watch this dude." And it started with also with the passion, cause I was also one of the first guys around my circle that had a song on Spotify. And they're like, "What? You're on Spotify? How did you do that?"
yeah, yeah.
In 2015, yeah, and I own my masters as well, still with True CD, baby. And I saw it through YouTube, actually. I didn't do anything else than go on YouTube and like, oh, that's how it works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, also like into the rap game and the business game, like low key. I was watching Dame Dash early as well, and he spoke about independence a lot. And like fast forward, I went to before I went to the Hammond Boat College. I was watching him a lot. Then I saw on the left, on the right, things about labels, how record deals work, publishing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, I didn't pay mind to publishing yet, only the record labels. And I was like obsessed with it. I was like watching artists on YouTube, on the interviews, or the business side, or the A&R from this label in fucking Asia. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
has like 400 views. And it was like 1 hour long. I was watching those things. And I was like, okay, I gotta do it myself, I understand it. But I wasn't like progressively making steps in it. I was like doing it for free. I was managing artists for free, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I liked it. I like to help other people.
Yeah, yeah,
That was also a thing because you got good artists out here that make music in English, but they're not that known or they don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
how to get there. So then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna manage y'all. I'm gonna help y'all. And I was already good friends with two of those artists. And then I went to the professional school, and the gap started becoming bigger because they wanted to do their own thing, and I want to do my thing, and we stay cool. And I met new artists. I met them on school, and I was like, okay, y'all some serious cats, but nobody knows y'all. And I had a small team
Mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm.
people, and they said, "Yeah, you gotta manage him, blah blah," and I succeeded in that too. And so I always knew, like, also because of my passion, like, and also the interviews that I saw, I looked up to Jimmy Iovine and Rick Rubin a lot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, 50 Cent is cool, but Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre is cooler. He's the
Yeah,
label
yeah,
owner, you
yeah.
know." And I was like, "Oh shit, Dr. Dre is cool, but goddamn, Jimmy Iovine is cooler." So then it went like that. And then I was reading, like checking their interviews, because everybody said to me like, "Yo, you're not a rapper. You're a good artist manager, A&R." And my goal wasn't to be the A&R manager. My goal was to start my own label and build that shit up with
Yeah,
another
yeah,
major
yeah.
label, you know. So with that mindset, I went through every show, every business meeting, like I'm the fucking best, and I got the best team, uh, and like that, I started meeting people, like, cause they see, oh, he's passionate and he's still.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm also a guy that's quiet for 1 year. I used to be quiet for 2 years. Now I do because the algorithm getting changed on Spotify. I drop music every year this time, and every time I was quiet, everybody was like, "Oh, he's done now." But every time I come back, I always become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why I tell my artists as well, we can do this together, and I can show you all the things to get there and to tell you my mistake as an artist, because I can see both sides now from a manager and an artist. So, and again, why I wanted to do the business side is because I see a lot of managers and A&R managers in the game uh, that didn't make a record, that never made a song, never wrote a song, and they decide what's gonna be hot or what's gonna release. Some are good at it,
Yeah, yeah.
but some are like trash. And I have like, if I look at the rosters, like I see real talent.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think like we have to go back to the '60s. That was always my mentality. Like I'd rather work with talent than work with somebody that everybody likes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then push that and put money on it. Because it's not even about the streams, or to me, it was never about the streams. It was never about being that new business guy. It was about really exposing real art
yeah, yeah.
and make money off that. So I rather make money on artistic music that's done with the soul and the mindset. This independently of this comes from the heart, then put a whole machines behind it and make a false story of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
artist and then push it. I'm like it's I always been that dude. And I remember I had a meeting at the major publisher when I had my single First Love was out. She's like, "Yo, I want to invite you." I'm like, "Oh shit, it's a major publisher, it's a big thing." So I went to their office, and she was like, "Oh, what if I sign your artist and this artist?" Because I had a lot of females that couldn't sing good, and I didn't understand the business. So I said like, "Well, then I also want to cut." And she's like, "You got a lot to learn, but your shit is good." So, and they always told me keep pushing, keep going, don't stop. And every time I heard that, it was like a small motivation, because sometimes I felt like I gotta quit, man,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't. It's some bullshit, Where I'm doing for, I'm investing that much, and I'm not seeing it back, and I was like pissed off, and that was like a weird ass moment. And then the EP came out, and I was all the way back. I was like, okay, I gotta rebrand myself,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's what what's going on right now is that everything is like on its place. I got the publishing side is more my job, but as an artist and my own label and management company is going well. I can't complain, and in Corona at least it's doing well.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
in Corona times, but it's like right now I'm also looking into new markets like the movie industry, because I
Okay.
already working in that. I can't say exactly what, but something big. And my real ambition is actually to start a restaurant. And like I started music to get in other businesses,
Yeah, yeah.
and just to see because I don't think music was a purpose of mine to see the other purposes. Because music have learned me the business game, the mentality, the how the world actually is. The world is a cold place, and I saw it in the music industry.
Yeah, yeah.
Because behind the scenes, there's a lot of shit going on that people even don't want to know, and that's also how the world is working. Like uh, we're living in a world where we have our you know our P's and Q's and our benefits and our things that not benefit us, and people controlling it. But the people that controlling it, they also going through a hard time or hard business
Yeah,
negotiation,
yeah,
and we don't see that. So I always went into this industry with, hey, I can't do one thing because it will keep me in there, and that's what
mm-hmm,
people
mm-hmm.
always said to me. You got to do one thing. You got to do one thing,
Yeah,
or else
yeah,
you will. And they were right about some certain points, but now it's the pandemic. If you was focused on one thing and your shit is not moving in the pandemic, then you gotta search for another thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's harder to do that in the pandemic. So thank God I was understanding the video editing game.
yeah,
Thank God I was understanding the music game, the publishing game, the label game, the art game, and the movie game, because those are six streams of. I don't say also the marketing side. Sorry, I forgot the marketing side. Seven, but I don't make money of all seven, but I make money of all three. And I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
especially for the culture, people in artists and for people in the culture need to focus on that, doing two or three things at a time.
yeah, yeah,
Because you're gonna learn a lot of mistakes. You're new at some businesses, and I like to challenge myself.
yeah,
If I stayed in the music rap game, it's the same process. Process is writing, record, mix, and before that or between that, you think about marketing, pre-release campaign, release. You know, and I already understood that it's like repeating the same cycle, but around that, there's a whole business,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like the publishing business. Oh, so I went there. Like, okay, what's going on over there? Oh, that's cool. I like it. And then the record business, I didn't really like it. And you got the photographers. I'm like, I'm trying. I always adapt to the people that I work with. Like,
Yeah,
how's the camera working? What's this lens?
yeah,
Okay, so if you take a white camera, it's gonna look like this. And do you edit in this or that? Or like also producers. I don't produce. I can produce, but I don't because that's too much. And mixing, I don't do that either. I mixed one song once, but I don't want to look like Rust. Like the one person, oh, I mixed and mastered and produced my shit and I went platinum. I don't want to be that guy. I'd
and
rather be that guy that, became, that created a name and then
yeah,
created a bigger name for others. And like Jiggy J, something like that.
and you have like a lot of creativity, and you leave it branch out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always had that from young, that you were already looking, let's say, that you were already very creative, but also looking at different things, or did that develop over time while you were in the industry?
I think in the industry, because when I was young, I was a soccer freak, game freak. And when I became 13, everything changed. I'm still that soccer freak, but uh, I also played soccer and I swam, but I wasn't focused on anything else. I was like focused on school,
Mm-hmm.
like the normal stuff you do as a kid. Like you focus on school. Sometimes you hang around with your friends, and that was also a thing. Like my friends, some friends that I had around me, they were focused on getting that house job, which is a good thing, a cool thing. To me, it wasn't that thing. Also, when I was in school, like people, um, having a degree is good, but to me, it was like when I became older, especially
Mm-hmm.
this age, I want to create a company that my kids can work in
Yeah, yeah,
or be an intern, and they create their freedom. They don't has to do it at my company. At least they got to be an intern and see both sides, like a 9 to 5 and an independent job. Because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've been on the 9 to 5 as an intern, sitting behind the desk 6 7 months long from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. talking about, it wasn't me. So I didn't accept that, and my parents were like, "How can you not do that. You
And
gotta,
and did you do that while being an artist?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And at some point, some people, I remember my very first song that I recorded. I had the internship. I went to Ariana's a good friend of mine, and I showed her the song at the subway station. She was like, "It's a begin, but you're good." I was like, "Oh, this trash," but okay, if you say so. And I was also dressed different. I was like dressed in a way how you get into the office. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
already the mind fuck that I had. Like, oh, I gotta be like that and talk and. But all those people are complaining about the water bills, about their rent, or about shit that has to do with them. Like I don't want to be 60 and So I was like, my dream was like, I still got it on my background. I don't know if you can see it. It was this one. Uh, Wait, I'm gonna show you that. I changed it in 2019, but this was like around 2015. It was on my background. Like that was like and
Ah, yeah. So you had your let's call it your affirmation as a background. This is the goal. This is what I'm gonna do.
yeah. And when I had like my show in Miami, I finally met one of those A&Rs from
Yeah.
those labels. I'm like, this can't like not be coincidence. So, and I'm in touch with one of those A&Rs, and I was like, okay, cool. It's actually possible. And this year, actually, I will do a show in LA, Italy, Turkey, and France. And it all got
And
cut off.
how I mean we heard your process,
Yeah.
but for your feeling, how quick did it go from, let's say, doing local shows to then doing international shows?
Mm, I have to think about it. Mm, 2 years, 1 year, something like that. Yeah, 2 years. I did my first show in Germany. I did two shows in Germany. One was for free, and the other
Mm-hmm.
one was paid. But the first one that we did for free was the first show, and people couldn't believe it. Like, how did he got in Germany? My
Yeah,
mixtape
exactly.
wasn't even out, so I went there, and for me, it was actually a rematch because the previous show, Rotterdam, was like I organized it, a mini festival
Mm-hmm.
in Maas Podium, and there were like some side things that didn't go well, like business wise, and I was like very depressed about it for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And my homie said like, we're gonna take them, we're gonna set this right in Germany. I'm like, hell yeah. So we went there, 6 hour drive in the mountains. People were like watching us crazy because they saw us riding on the how do you call that, on the road where the bikers drive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we were riding on that accidentally, and they were like, "Oh, Dutch people, it's crazy."
yeah.
So we came there like already weird, and like we and oh yeah, the headliner was gone. It was a famous headliner. So they told me like last minute, you gotta take his place. I'm like, what? So I went there, and you got like two stages. Mine was like a bit empty, and the other was full. So all those people came slowly to my stage. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. And then people came after the show like, you're dope, you're hard, you gotta remember that. I'm like, huh? Can I have your T-shirt? And I'm like, that was the moment of confidence, because in the Netherlands people didn't move or they didn't bounce, and were like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in in
In the
in, in
corners and just
yeah,
they're
this is my squad. This is in
just
Germany.
watching.
Everybody was like turning up and like fucking with each other. And then I did a second show the same night on the same stage, and it was packed. And everybody was like, "Oh, you dope! You gotta work!" Blah blah blah. Then at my show in Belgium, same thing. It wasn't big, but I met an artist, Chelsea Reject. She had a show there. She worked with a lot of artists that we know, like CJ Fly from Joey Badass's label, all that shit. So I met her there, and I did my show. And also people came there to me like, yo, we gotta work, shit is dope. And it was a big show. And then I did my show in Austria. Still gotta find those pictures and videos. And also, I also opened up in the Netherlands for big US artists. So like Dizzy Wright, Reverie from the West Coast. So those things like gave me a lot of confidence because like yo, people know my name now through
Yeah,
these
yeah.
shows, and even till this day, I got diehard fans in Germany, probably 13 or 14. They're now 90 years old. They were
Mm-hmm.
when I had that show, they were 15. They were like kids. So now they're older and they're still fucking with my music. They're actually growing with me. So and unconsciously, I made music that they can relate to.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to me, it's like a blessing, you know. And how quick? Let's say 2 years. I had my international
Okay,
shows.
okay.
Yeah.
And if you because you have both sides, let's say the artist side
Mhm.
and what's going on in the background.
Mhm.
If you look at both sides,
Mhm.
which one do you think for you feels more difficult to do or more challenging?
The business, of course, because there's always obstacles. My last one was tough. Like we had a online writers camp, a big one,
Mm-hmm.
because we actually had to do that in Berlin, but with Corona, it got canceled. So we had set our writers from LA, Germany, all over the world. So I had also my setup of artists that I scouted from the UK, and I brought one of them in a session with other producers and artists that wrote for major old artists,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he gave them the song. It was his song, and they only put a percussion on it. The other people from LA on the song, on the let's say the guy from the UK had a song,
Yeah.
and he gave it to the LA guys, or no, they made the song together, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna change things." They didn't change anything, and they're like asking for a big percentage,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and the artist was like, "I made the song." They didn't do shit. Anyone. So I was like, I'm good friends with this dude, but those motherfuckers are making millions, you know. So I was like, shit. And then you're gonna listen to your team. Your team is it's complicated, you know, because you business is business, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you gotta stay cool. But I also learned to be cool, you know, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But at the same time, I think the business side is hard. The artist side to me is also hard, but not harder, because I know with the age, the older that I get, the more the subjects
Yeah.
are going to change. Like J. Cole said, when you're third, or Eminem, he said, you're gonna make your best music when you're in your 30s because you have experienced everything, you have seen everything, death, life, obstacles,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So you're gonna write more about that, and the younger people will relate to it. Right now, I'm working on my debut album. It's my first album as well as the 5 tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the hardest thing to me was because my last 4 tapes I made with my best friend. She had like a list of you're gonna drop this, that, and that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I have to do now I have to pick that shit up by my own.
Yeah.
Now I have to choose like, do I gonna call the album like this and make a party concept, or gonna do a, or am I going to make a conscious album?
Yeah.
Because it's your first fucking album, and you're gonna start with the mood board from your album, the branding, the color, and I'm like, yo, this is hard because I'm talking some real shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I do that, I actually restart the cycle that I started 5 years ago. Now people know a little bit my name day by day, more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's do this, you know. And I think that's the hardest challenge right now, to make the right music, because it's gonna be a big first album,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to. That's why I also waited with making the album. I first said we're gonna make these tapes, make our mistakes, and see how it works and what works for me,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna make an album. Because now I know what people like. Also, when I look at the stats and
Yeah. Yeah.
at my shows, the songs that I did, and we're gonna put that up the best songs on top and the worst on, like, all those things.
Yeah.
So that's not hard for me. It's all calculated. But the business is never calculated. You never know who has an agenda. You never know. It's like The Godfather. It's my favorite movie. You always know who's the snake or who not. And I always heard rappers talking about it, like, um, hate is this, snakes that. I never understood it until I came into the business.
Yeah, yeah. And then you started to experience it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, yeah. I experienced a lot of good and bad things, you know, and also things that people don't even know. But like, I'm a Capricorn, so Jeff Bezos is like my spirit animal. But I'm not like him. But when it comes to business, like, I can be tough.
Yeah.
When it's like, when somebody does bad business to me, I'm gonna be bad to you. When I'm a good person, you're a good person, you're gonna get good shit. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's like ABC. So it's like yin and yang, and I think I'm more focused on that's an OG from Sony A to Z France. Is also a good story. That was actually the first big record on my label. Sony A to Z France like hollered at me when I was like 19 or 20,
Mm-hmm.
and they said like, "Yo, we want to release a record with your label because it looks big." I only had a website. It looked good,
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
okay, it was like, okay, let's do this. So 1 year later, we released the record, and it went well. I had like 100,000 streams in 6 months. So for me, that's an
Yeah,
accomplishment.
yeah.
And it was from Sony A to Z, 5 years under my label and publishing. So it was like the first big thing. And this person, I met him in the Netherlands because he liked how passionate I was. We met him in the studio, and he said like, the good people will survive longer in this music industry. The bad people won't last. If you look at Suge Knight, he's bad. He didn't last probably 2 years, 2 years run with a $200 million company, Death Row Records. That didn't last long. Then we got like 6ix9ine. That, like, he didn't last long. He's also to me a bad, person. But if you look at the business, like Leo Cohen, I think he's an amazing person. That's like a complicated thing. I can look up to him somehow, but somehow I can't because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he's there for the cash and he has those things in
Yeah,
paper
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that the artist doesn't see. I see those right now, but most of these artists don't see it. They just sign.
And then they
And
go ahead.
yeah, because you have to think an artist is very big in his ego or in her ego, and I think if an artist is aware of that, which most artists don't have, they will grow and pay more
Mm.
attention to the business
Yeah,
side
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
only focused on the creative side. So
yeah.
to me, it was like, okay, yeah, business is fun. But at the same time, I like it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, shit, this is a tough business because you really got to make those miles. I remember at one of my songwriters, we had a session with two major songwriters
Mm-hmm.
that wrote
Mm-hmm.
for Jennifer Lopez, and they canceled it because they said they had a different meeting. But I said, that's bullshit. You canceled the meeting on the very last minute.
Yeah, yeah.
You thought she didn't look into the artist. She's like, oh, I don't know her. She never got playlisted. Fuck it. I always had those artists until they got playlisted. Everybody started fucking with them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's what how the soccer game works, how the world works. But it's annoying me right now. And at some point, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do my own shit." I understand the business, the artist side. Let me build that up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and keep it in balance, because
And keep it in balance.
yeah,
And if you look at
a
let's
little
say
bit off
let's say
spin.
let's say balance and life lessons,
Yeah.
what are your top 4 life lessons you would pass on to another person?
Damn, you always let me think, which is good. Um, 4 life lessons. Yeah, number 4, be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I had my show in Miami, I met Sonny Digital, and we also spoke, and we still talking. But this dude, he can be your neighbor. He made Stargazing for Travis Scott. He made shit for Beyonce, every XXL cipher, records for 50 Cent, Future, Drake. Like his track record, this zombie, he's even the GOAT. He's the mentor of Metro Booming. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know who he was, but when I came there, I was like, "Oh, you're Sonny," and he was like cool. He wasn't like out of. He wasn't like in the air how most
Yeah, yeah,
artists
yeah.
are. Like I'm the best. Nah, he was chilling, and he has some crazy money on the bank, but I was like shocked because like damn, you can be my neighbor. He was like shit, like you. He was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all calm, positive. He also has a child, so I think that makes the difference. And he's young, and for somebody that's 27 and accomplished that shit early, even like his production level is on point, but he always stayed humble. It's from what I saw when I analyzed him.
Yeah.
And the third one, be patient, because patience is key and it's everything that um will give you what you want, even if you have a hard time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's always, like how Bob Marley said, there's always sun on the end of. There's always sunshine after rain.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was also one of my biggest lessons. Number 2, be consistent
Mm-hmm.
in what you do, even if it takes you 1 year or 2 years to do it, because consistency brings people, surprises people.
Yeah, yeah.
And number 1, goddamn, uh, be authentic and be you.
Okay. Yeah.
I think when I chased my first tape, I was watching too much new East Coast artists. And my second tape also. My third tape, I was looking up to G-Eazy, but I didn't like check their style. But I was heavy influenced by it
Yeah.
unconsciously. I was doing the same shit. This EP, I didn't. This is my own shit, my own sound, and um, uh, other than that, other than music, also in life, when you're at school, you see, or at work, you see the same people, same mindset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I wasn't that dude, and that's why people came to me like,
Yeah,
"Yo, you're
yeah.
different." And I think being different is cool. Back in the days, it wasn't cool. I chilled with everybody, like skaters, emos, gangsters, thugs, uh, single baby mama. Still this day, I don't look at what your background is or who you are or what you represent. No, I look at how you behave and your principles, and
Yeah, yeah.
because we are both humans and we can talk and just have a great time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
think being authentic brought me those people from different corners.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That does some good lessons.
Same thing in Miami. I was trying to be this West Coast dude, and everybody was like, "You're not from the West Coast.
Yeah.
You're just a European guy." I was, God damn it! Every time I threw up some gang signs, and at some point, they liked me more as the Dutch guy, just being not the Dutch guy, but just being me
Yeah.
from the Netherlands, and being that guy that can hang around with everybody, and that's nice because I'm not a bad person at all. That's what people see when they see. That's the first thing that what they will see. Like, oh, like what you said. He's a chill guy to
Yeah.
hang around with.
Yeah.
I can't hate him. So I think being authentic and also weird. I'm weird actually. I'm not authentic. I'm weird, but not a weirdo. But I'm weird in my choices and in the things that I do. Like also with release marketing or just everything around around me, even like the people that I hang with,
Mm-hmm.
are not the people you expect me to hang with,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's I think as long as I'm keeping that, I will still be in a good position in life. So yeah,
Ah, nice, nice,
yeah,
nice.
trying to find the right words.
Trying to find.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's I think that's a nice way also to round it off. And
Mm.
if people are looking to check your music, check you out, where all can they find you, find your artist, what all platforms? Drop all of the. I'm going to put the links in the show comments anyway. But
Yeah.
while they're listening, they can quickly check on their phones. To
My Instagram is Cookson. Is COOKSSON. I repeat, COOKSSON, because people like to write Coxon. um, Instagram.com/Cookson, and then you got my Twitter. It's the same shit. Facebook, I'm not that active on my artist page, but my company page is active, which is Unlimited Vision Kingdom, and then you will find me. And TikTok as well, Cookson. Uh, I don't do Snapchat. Spotify, it's C.I.C, which stands for Cookson's Interchain. So C.I.C Vivo, you'll find me on YouTube. Unlimited Vision Records is the label, and yeah, that's how you will find me.
all right, I would
Yeah,
like
man.
to thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for your time, man. I actually hope that we could talk about one more subject.
Oh, which subject you have?
Like always, what's your top five favorite? Oh no, top five best MC alive, dead or alive.
Top 5 best MCs, dead or alive.
Yeah.
Oh man. The top 5 best MCs, dead or alive, and my top 5 does not. It's just a top 5 that I feel, and doesn't specifically have to do with, let's say, rhyme schemes, double entendres, lyrics edit. No, the top 5
It
that I.
doesn't matter which order.
Yeah,
Just
and Older the Bastard. If it wasn't for that guy, I probably would not be listening to hip hop as I listen to now.
rest in peace.
Let's say, well, yeah, can't have a top 5 list and not have Jay-Z on it. That's
Sounds so good. It sounds
that's
good so far.
who else do I check for on a regular basis? I have like a lot of. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna throw Kendrick in there because for one of the, let's say, for me new guys, I'm almost stuck in the old school. That he really puts his stamp on, and he actually actually look and check for him.
Yeah.
So then we got 3, we got 2 more to go. Oh man.
And Biggie and Tupac are out of this league, so
Yeah, I'm not even. I'm gonna. That's like that's everybody's standard answer. That's yeah, Biggie and Tupac. I could that can easily run it off. Yeah, Biggie. That's number 4. But
so scared.
But oh man, I have 2 more to go, and I'm gonna switch it up. Back in the day, I would only come up with English artists, but this time I'm gonna throw a, at least one Dutch artist in there, and I'm juggling between 2, and that's because I'm real critical, and I just started listening to the Dutch, let's say, scene, and then I was like, oh man, this is, these guys really grab me, and that I would say, like for anyone, just check them, and then one is Atje.
Dope.
Definitely check that guy, and
He's hard.
and just because he's so underrated and not much people check for the guy, RB John. that this is
I
a
thought you would say Nas.
no, no.
Goddamn, Nas.
I said
See, Nas
R-
ain't in the top 5.
I didn't put it's because I don't. I'm looking at what I really check for now, and Nas has a bunch. Everyone knows the guy has skill.
Bro, I had arguments with 100 Nas
He's,
fans. I
he's
put one comment. I said Nas ain't even in my top 100
oh, I'm gonna disagree with you
or in my top 50 or
there.
top 100.
I'm
He
gonna
has one good album with Damian Marley and one good song. It ain't hard to
and
tell. You know why?
and this is what I'm.
Jay,
That I look.
it's not even about
I
Jay Z,
grew.
Biggie, or Pac. It's just Nas. He made his first album off beat, so he didn't have a beat. They put the beat under his album. Okay, cool, but I can hear like when somebody raps on the beat or when they put a beat under it. With his shit, I didn't heard it, which was good. But then I listened. I tried to listen to the album. I did it 7 or 8 times. I can't listen to it.
I think, and
It's boring.
then I think it has to do with
It's crazy.
the difference in time. I mean,
I can listen to Biggie,
I listen to
Dash EFX.
and I think I had this talk with someone recently that you when you listen to maybe music for the first time, it's or at a certain point in time in life it gets cemented, and that's what makes it great for that period in time, qua nostalgia.
Bro, I had
And
it when I was 11. I had the Nas album. I listened. I couldn't listen. The only song that was hard was Ain't Hard to Tell.
no, for Nas, I would still say Nas is still one of the greats. Just for I can hear, let's say, what he did back then, what for influence it has now. And even if you would say like now, okay, people might not really check for Nas for what type of reasons, his beat selection or whatever, but his influence can still be seen all over the place, and he, he's a good rapper. How he might not, I might not mention him in my top 5, but he is also one of the guys that I was like, it's a Nas. Yeah, I'm gonna check the Nas album and see how it is. Just
His album got nominated for the Grammys.
But-
I
then
don't know.
what is your top 5?
My top 5 is ill though. I got Eminem, Absol. Absol is like my diehard favorite rapper because I'm pretty sure Absol can destroy Nas in a battle or a Jay-Z if he wants, because he is underrated as fuck. Or Jay Electronica. He even said it, Jay Electronica, I'm ready. And he said, and even how do you call them? The three new Benny the Butcher, Griselda.
Yeah.
He told them, and they responded on his new song with Russ. Who wants what? I tell you to check that out because he's sending all the smoke, and that's what I love about TDE. The whole crew, they're not playing.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that you need. So okay, Eminem, Absol, Jay-Z. That's a hard one. I want to put G-Eazy in there because his song structure is strong, but at the same time, he's not like my top 5. He's more top 10. So I'm gonna put there Eminem, Absol, Jay-Z. Maybe myself. No, I'm kidding.
As an artist, you always got to say you're the best. Huh? There's no way you cannot find that you're not the best.
You know what it is? When Joey Badass's album drop, I think he's gonna be top 3. But I don't want to put him there yet. I'm waiting on that album because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be the next big rapper, like in the Kendrick League. I don't want to put J. Cole in my top 5. Kendrick either. It's hard because I got so many cats that I can put in those 2 positions. But Jay-Z, Eminem, Absol are for sure. Then I'm gonna put a Dutch guy as well. Lipa, Because Lipa was
yeah.
like in my top 10 when Sticks and Win and Jiggy were there. And then he came album after album. He starts growing. And when you listen to him, he's talking not only street shit, but like business and life shit. Like you think like, why? Why didn't I? You know that when you write that line as a rapper and you never came up with it, but you could came up with it, and he did it. But I'm gonna put Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Because he's also a punchline dude.
Okay.
I think if somebody got punchlines after punchlines after punchlines, it's him, and he does it a long time. Right. So Absol, Eminem, Jay-Z, Lipa, and Lil Wayne.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you heard it. You heard the top 5. People who are listening and watching are probably gonna be like, no.
If you want my top 200, Nas is in there.
So drop your top 5s under. Send them to us.
Yo, one day I'm gonna be famous and Nas gonna find the shit. I'm done.
He's gonna have a chat with you.
Yeah, we're gonna have a chat. I like him again. I like him as an MC, but he's not impressive. So before people are gonna spam the comments, watch what I said. He's a good MC. He's not a good rapper.
All right.
There's a difference in that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys at the next episode of the HipHop Minded Professional.
Yes.
And check us out then.
Stay tuned, or goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the HipHop Minded Professional. Make sure to subscribe at your favorite streaming platform so that you don't miss the next episode. And make sure to visit hiphopculturecoaching.com for more information on how hip hop helps your mindset.